Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of My Favorite Trip to the Movies. Before we get started, just want to give a huge shout out to all the healthcare workers right now, getting us all through this difficult time. We all thank you so much and just thank you for everything you do. And just hope everyone listening is safe and well and they're healthy. And hey, we got this. We'll all get through this for sure. And this is the show where we discuss our favorite movie theater memories, favorite concession items at the movies, as well as kind of just the overall awesomeness of being at the movies, being with that audience. And because movie going definitely is not the same as it was right now, but where we are from, theaters just opened back up with limited capacity, and so I think maybe this will be the start of once more people get vaccinated and once all that stuff kind of starts happening, I think maybe we're getting closer to it becoming. We still could be far away, but we won't make any guesses. But now we'll get right into it because we have a super awesome guest. This is a guest who we've been good friends since middle school. We've had the honor of discussing movies together for so many years, and we've seen the Kingsman movies, Dunkirk, Avengers: Age of Ultron. We randomly ran into each other at Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, which is super awesome, and super knowledgeable about history and just a super overall awesome person. Julius, how are you today on this snowy Sunday?
I am doing great, Joey. Thanks for having me here. It's like a throwback to our TicketStubs days. This is
Oh
great.
yeah, I should have mentioned that too. Julius was on our is on TicketStubs so many times, and
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
fact checker, guess.
He played all the roles.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, so Julius is just always super awesome to discuss movies with, and we'll just jump right into it. Julius, what has been your favorite trip to the movies, or just like or a multiple or a few?
Well, Joey, I'm glad you asked. I will answer your question with a question. That is my job as a teacher, right? Joey, as a high school student during January, February, right? Perfect day. Right now it's snowing outside. What would you be doing right now?
Like if I was in high school right now, or if
Yeah, a snowy day, what would you be doing?
First off, I love the approach. I know you texted me saying you have a different approach. I was like, I'm so excited to see what Julius has come up with. Um, I'm on a snowy. If I was probably watching a movie or a show on
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, probably watching a movie, right? There's not much to do around where we live, especially if you're a high school student. You either go to the mall or you either go to the movies, right? I did say that I was gonna do this in a different approach, but that wasn't really my approach yet. It hasn't even started yet, but I'm glad you're picking up on it. Um, as a high school student, you don't really have much to do, especially with that certain someone, right? With a significant other. I feel like movie theaters are, great places not only for friendships to develop, but actual relationships, right? So my movie that I picked was The Artist, which came out in 2011, I believe, and it's on Netflix right now. Have you seen The Artist, Joey?
Unfortunately, I have not. It'll go on the list for sure, but I want to say Ray Fiennes is in that one.
Ralph Fiennes or Ray
Yeah,
Fiennes?
I one of those. For
one of those people.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, he's gonna watch it right after this recording, I bet. Um, but yeah, The Artist, it's one of the first movies that my girlfriend Jackie and I watched together. You'll love this. I brought you props.
Oh yes.
There we go.
Oh,
Can't really see it, but okay. First of all, I have a thing about ticket stubs. All right, I don't know about you, but do you collect your ticket stubs?
I was so much better at it. I'm not so much anymore. I have like from 2011 to like 2014, 2015. I have a lot of them, but I should have been
Yeah.
more. But that's I'm so glad you kept such an important one.
Yeah. Looks like I watched it Sunday, February 19th, 2012, which is about 4 days before I asked Jackie out, before our anniversary. Really, it's about 9 years next month. So I thought this would be a really good topic. But just a quick synopsis, right? The Artist is about Hollywood in the 1920s, late 1920s, right when silent films were fading out and the talkies, right, were becoming a thing. Jackie loves movies like that, and I like movies about Hollywood, right? I'm sure we discussed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I feel like that's the most recent Hollywood movie about Hollywood, right? Um, but yeah, that's the movie I picked. It's kind of tough, right? Because you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it, but I know you'll watch it. But I just want to give acknowledgement to the fact that movie theaters are a place where where things like this could develop. It's like a common date idea, right? Going to the movies, and that's why I picked The Artist as my favorite movie experience, because that's where I think Jackie and I first held hands.
Oh, well,
I
first off,
also
that
have
is.
I have other props too, but we'll wait.
Oh, okay, awesome. If you don't mind me asking, where did you see that one at?
We picked. So I feel like every one of your guests has been talking about our local movie theater in
Mm,
our local town, but
mm,
we went to an adjacent town, Barrington.
mm.
That's where we went.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's like I love going there because it's like I love there's like a little extra drive and you kind of have a little bit more time to kind of like or going to the movies and like you're driving you have a
Mhm.
little bit longer drive to kind of discuss what you saw. So that's I love going there too. First off, that is probably the sweetest answer we've had so far on this show. That is so sweet and it's so awesome. And something that Alex and I discussed in our the last guest in this on the show, Alex Pope. Like
Alex, who? Never heard of him.
Alex, yeah, who's
Just kidding. I'm sorry, Alex.
great ticket stubs videos between us three for sure. But something we discussed, and this is not this was about our friendship, but like if we never went to the movie, like that movie setting, like, and this hugely applies to relationships too, like there's just like if you were to watch a movie at each other's houses, especially in high school, it's just so much more uncomfortable. And you kind of have to, if you're going out, like, picking each other up, like you're just such a different headspace. And that's why I love the movie theater in both like friendships and relationships. That both dynamics just like I feel are so much better there than like, especially when you're getting to know each other.
Yeah, it's like a, again, like I said, it's like a perfect date thing. Like you
Mm,
can't watch a movie at someone's, like in high school, if you're dating someone, you probably don't want to be around your parents,
mm,
right? Like watching it at home and your parents are there, that's kind of weird. But in movie theater, you get some privacy to yourself. And often or not, right? Sometimes these movie theaters are empty. I'm not, that sounds a little suspicious, but that's not what I mean. You get that privacy. And speaking of, the other movies that we watch, right? The first movie that Jackie and I actually watched together was The Woman in Black.
Oh,
You can't
Daniel
really see it.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. There we
Mm,
go. The Woman in Black. Um, Scary movie, right? Usually where you guys start out.
mm.
And we then we watch a movie that bombed called John Carter from Disney. I
Oh,
don't know if you watched that.
I unfortunately have not, but I've watched or I've seen like it unfortunately listed on famous box office bombs. But hey, I respect them for taking that property and trying to make something with it.
Yeah, we took a risk watching that movie. It was
You gave it a
lost,
chance. You
yeah,
supported it.
exactly. Lost $20, but went to Hollywood. But then, we eventually found a good movie with The Artist, and it's like kind of like a good, I don't know. I don't want to say a romantic movie. It was more of a comedy, romance, like drama kind of thing. Period piece. I don't know. There's so many titles you could give that movie, but it was definitely a great movie to watch. Highly recommend it. I had a question for you, but I completely forgot what it was. I think I had it.
Yeah.
No, forgot it. Just forgot it.
Well, hey, well, if you think of it, definitely let me know. I'll say one thing. I want to add one more thing about what you said about relationships. And something else I think it really applies to movie theater. Like if you're going out with someone who you don't really know super well, like, and you're pretty socially awkward, like this guy, you don't have to talk for like 2 hours, and you kind of can just kind of sit there and hang out with someone. And I think there's just something really just kind of sweet and nice about that. Not that you don't want to talk to each other, but
Yeah.
like it's
But that
yeah.
also brings up my next point. Sorry, that was my question. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, it worked perfect.
Yeah, that's the Zoom setting. Um, would you rather have dinner and then a movie, or a movie and then a dinner?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, Probably the movie and then dinner after. I think
That's
that
mine.
way you
Yeah.
could break down there's 1,000% something to talk about, like right there, especially like you're kind of like just kind of it's I think you could be like it's a little bit more like to be not zoned out, but I feel like you're kind of just it'll be a lot more like you don't have to worry about it's just you're kind of just still taking in the movie a little bit, so there's a lot less pressure to like that kind of sort of thing.
You don't run out of things to talk about, like,
Mm.
oh, there's snow outside. You're just talking about the weather immediately. But after you see the movie, you talk about the plot, you talk about the characters, right? Whether or not you liked it. It's definitely an awesome go-to. So no one has mentioned I think in your show yet about, their favorite movie experience being a date. I think it's been about like fond memories with friends so far, or like seeing a movie that you spent a lot of time on. I know a lot of people mentioned Harry Potter, right? I think Frankie and Mariah maybe mentioned Harry Potter, right?
Nice. Hey,
Um,
yeah, they did.
fan of a
Nice.
show.
Thank you. And also, just
Um,
Julius has been such a great supporter of this. Just throwing that out there.
Always a supporter of my man.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my take on your question there. And I understand you have more questions, and I love this show. So
Hey, first off, I mean, I know I literally just said this, but thank you so much for your support of this as always. And like right when I like posted about this, Julius immediately reached out to me and said, like, this is awesome. Thanks for doing this. How do you like it so far? And I just super appreciate that. Couldn't have done any of this without Julius. So thank you, Julius.
the person who thought about putting the link in the Instagram bio.
Yeah, our tracking numbers are through the roof because of that now. But
You got
that's
the YouTube analytics and the data to support that.
exactly. Honestly, though, like if I never did that, like I think all my viewers are through Instagram partially,
Wow, there we go.
or a good majority. So seriously, that was like such great advice. And now we'll move on to the next question. And I think I know one of the answers. If there's a few items that could apply. I know one of yours, I think. But favorite concession item at the movies?
All right, I wanted you to go first, but I'll go first just for the sake of the show here. You're the captain. You're the captain now. I don't know if you were thinking about Box of Crunch is my favorite movie concession. But judging by the look of your faces, that's not what you're thinking.
Well, I guess not necessarily concession item. I guess I don't. This was a long time ago, but ices. I know you got ices sometimes.
Yeah, we did always get ices. Icy was a common answer. I think Alex said that for his. Yeah, where else do you get ices except for the movie theater, right? Unless it's like 7-Eleven, like 7-Eleven day when you get free ices. But yeah, like I usually don't want something cold, right? In a movie theater, usually a movie theater is kind of cold enough as it is. If it's a summer movie, of course I'll get an icy, but perfect go-to all year.
Bunch of Crunch.
All year food, Box of Crunch. I would get two actually. I know people put the Box of Crunch with the popcorn. Have you done that before?
One time, I think.
One time.
But Bunch of Crunch by themselves too are super delicious too.
Yeah. I've actually never done the popcorn thing. I'm a fan of the sweets rather than the savory when it comes to movies. I know you're a fan of the popcorn, right? There's probably that meme that you eat popcorn like the first like 15 minutes of the movie, or when the trailers are still happening. You're already done with it. Right? But yeah, that's my pick.
Oh, classic choice, the Crunch. And that one, I think that's another popular, like out of all the brand candies, I'm not sure how many people, but that one's definitely the most popular between the 9 episodes so far. That's like the one I've heard the most. So that's a super awesome answer. And hey, I like the sweets. Hey, yeah, that's an awesome reason for sure. And just, I forgot, was it cherry icy or blue raspberry or the mix?
Ooh.
Or Coke icy if that's at Woodfield.
I think I was the Coke icy kind of guy. But if that was out, I would go with the cherry. We need to start like a poll here. That's another question you need to ask.
And that'll be the third question. Blue or red icy?
Let's start a war like Halo.
Oh, zero gravity mode.
Which is something we play together, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, from the bottom of my chin or bottom of my heart, I'm just such a good time. Such a good time.
That's great.
And then this and the final question, which we did kind of talk about a little bit in the first question. But just what do you think is the overall, like obviously streaming is super awesome. And I know it's literally been like such a huge thing these past 10 months, and it's been so needed, and it's been so helpful for so many people right now. But definitely, but going to the movie theater when we all feel safer again doing that, and when it's that's definitely like, what do you think is the overall kind of awesomeness and importance of going out and experiencing that on the big screen at that location instead of just staying home?
Well, I think you've had multiple guests say that, it's the movie theater experience, right? It's about the experience, what you said earlier, driving there, seeing it with your buddies, being in a crowd. But I'm going to take it a different way. I'm all about that sound quality. All right. I asked you before we started recording whether or not we watched Dunkirk together. And that was one of the greatest movies for an example of that, right? Like when the bullets just whiz by, you can hear it clearly. And it's really not it's not the same when you go to, just watch it with your friends at home. Like you and I had the honor to last summer to attend a bonfire, right? We watched Mulan. And although that was fun, right? Hanging out with our friends, eating pizza, having a few drinks, and having the fire and the screen right there, right? The sound quality was right? It was okay. But having like a total professional setup in a room that's acoustically made to be perfect with sound, it really gets you immersed in the film, and that's what films are supposed to do, right? Get you where they want you to go to. So
Absolutely. And I love what you said about Dunkirk because, yeah, like right when that movie started, you just hear it. You hear the planes, you hear, what's going on in the beginning. I think is just like, I think the beginning of the movie there, it's the soldiers are walking through the kind of like it's the town's totally empty.
mhm,
And then it's just kind of everything starts and you are there. You are, even when it's silent, you are there.
mhm.
And I think that sound design with Dunkirk was so awesomely done. And yeah, that was, yeah, definitely not like, yeah, I think the sound quality is you got to just even if it's a bad movie, like you're locked in. I feel like it's like there's no people outside that are like you can hear. There's no one ringing your doorbell. There's nobody vacuuming on like a different
Dogs
floor.
barking,
Dogs barking. We love
neighbors
dogs,
having a
but
party.
neighbors, yeah, neighbors. um, yeah, oh yeah, and that was an awesome bonfire too. But yeah, so totally being in that space and just hearing everything and like it pains me thinking of a reality where like Avengers Endgame was experienced in like
Oh yeah,
a setting
at
where you
home.
couldn't be like so I'm like yeah.
Just
So
watching it with your like Apple AirPods,
yeah,
right?
on
Like
your
it's just
iPod
not the
Nano.
same.
Yeah.
Like when the sound's like booming through your
Mm,
body,
mhm,
right? You know that feeling in the movie theaters, like
mm.
that's just amazing. Um, I am aware of the irony that the movie that I chose for this episode is a movie that is largely silent the whole time. um,
But it's loud in your heart. That's what
it is loud in my heart,
mm,
exactly. Oh, that's great.
mm.
This is a good time. We're having a good time here. I love this
Yeah.
show.
Oh, hey, it's an honor to have you on. And that's all the questions. So Julius, before we end, just do you have any well words, anything you want to promote, anything you want to say to the viewers before we close up?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you started your episode off thanking the healthcare workers, right? But we got to give a shout out to our educators out there, doing their best to help the kids go through these difficult times. Right? They're creating these engaging lessons, modifying them, making sure that nobody gets left behind during this pandemic. But no, we're trying our best. We're gonna get these schools open. Actually, they're already open. We're gonna make it safe for the kids to go. And then teachers out there, we just got 3 or 4 more months, and then we got this.
Yes, and I'm
That's
so
what it is.
glad you said that, Julius. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to make it public you were a teacher, but I'm gonna say that now because you're an awesome teacher and he's so well said and he is just like one of the awesomest teachers. And I wish I could have had him as a teacher when I was
Thank
that
you.
age. And yeah, educators right now. The world is just so sincerely grateful. So that is our show. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Julius. And you're just so awesome. Thank you for being on the show. And have an awesome night, everybody. Thank you.
See y'all.